What do you like most about your hometown? Use specific details to support your answer. You may begin to prepare after the beep. You may begin to speak after the beep. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Why or why not? Support your opinion with details and examples. The key to success in life is working hard every day. You may begin to prepare after the beep. You may begin to speak after the beep. In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a conversation on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the conversation. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. A sports coach is taking on a new role. Read the announcement about this change. You have 45 seconds to read the announcement. Begin reading now. Now listen as two students discuss the announcement. Hi, Jenny. You must be pretty pleased to hear about Coach Jemson's new role, right?
Actually, my feelings are completely the opposite. I was really disappointed when I heard the news.
But aren't you on the volleyball team?
Yeah, and that's why I'm upset. We've got a good team, and I thought we could win the championship next year. But now I'm doubtful. I've looked into Coach Jepson's experience, and she's worked as either a soccer coach or a softball coach her whole career.
Ah, so you're worried she doesn't know much about volleyball.
Right. I'm sure she'll learn, but I don't know how quickly. And until she does, I'm concerned she won't have the knowledge to help the team win enough games.
I see your point.
And I think the college is treating Coach Smith really badly, too.
Coach Smith?
Yeah, she's the current coach of the volleyball team.
Isn't she leaving? That's the impression I got from the announcement.
I think she was planning to stay. She held a team meeting yesterday and was really emotional when she told us that Coach Jepson would take over. Hmm. I know the team hasn't done well the last couple of years, but that's due to injuries. It's not Coach Smith's fault. She's done a fantastic job, and I think the college should have kept her as volleyball coach. That would have been the fair thing to do in my book.
You may begin to prepare after the beep. You may begin to speak after the beep. In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the conversation. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Now, read the passage about Pidgin and Creole languages. You have 50 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now. Now listen to part of a lecture on this topic in a linguistics class. Today I'll begin by discussing Foro. This language is spoken in the Sao Tome and Principe, an island nation off the western coast of Central Africa. The official language in these islands is Portuguese, but Foro is spoken as a native language by upwards of 70,000 people. The language developed in the 15th century when sailors from Portugal discovered the islands and began using them as a trading base. The traders needed a way to communicate with local people, and a trade language soon developed, combining Portuguese with languages from the Bantu and Kwa groups. Over time, this trade language became standardized. Its vocabulary and grammar systems became more stable and more fully developed, and Foro became the native tongue for children born on the islands. These days, government data suggests that slightly less than 40% of the population speak it natively. Studies show that fewer than 1 in 10 words in Foro derive from languages of African origin, and most words derive from Portuguese, although the meaning of some words has changed. The pronunciation of many words is also close to Portuguese, but certain sounds have undergone a pronunciation shift. In terms of grammar, Foro has similarities to all of its source languages, making it distinct from Portuguese in some ways. You may begin to prepare after the beep. You may begin to speak after the beep. In this question, you will listen to a conversation. You will then be asked to talk about the information in the conversation and to give your opinion about the ideas presented. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Now listen to two students discussing a problem at the dormitory where the man lives.
Hi, Brad. I saw some workmen going into your dorm. What's going on?
There's a problem with the pipes and we don't have any hot water. Apparently it's going to take at least 4 or 5 days to fix.
No hot water until the weekend? Wow.
Right. And I work part-time at a restaurant near campus, so it's important that I look professional. I need to find a place where I can shower every day.
Have you considered the University Fitness Center? I sometimes shower there if the bathrooms at my dorm are busy.
Yeah, that's one option, but I want to get dressed in my work clothes immediately after taking a shower, and that would be difficult at the fitness center. I have to take my work clothes with me in a bag, and they might get wrinkles.
It sure wouldn't be as convenient as showering your dorm. But what else could you do?
Well, my brother has an apartment in the city. He said I can stay with him until the situation at my dorm is fixed.
That sounds like a good option.
Well, yes and no. You see, his apartment is pretty far from campus. I've got papers to write, so I can't spare the time it would take to travel across the city.
Well, good luck deciding what to do.
Thanks, Casey. You may begin to prepare after the beep. You may begin to speak after the beep. In this question, you will listen to part of a lecture. You will then be asked to summarize important information from the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Now listen to part of a talk in a business studies class.
Okay, so let's continue our discussion of employee compensation. Previously, we discussed traditional compensation models, including salaries and commission-based pay. Now, I'd like to discuss a less common method of compensation, namely equity-based pay. In simple terms, under equity-based compensation, employees of a company receive part ownership of that company. This is usually in the form of shares or stock in the business. Typically, the equity that employees receive is in addition to, rather than instead of, a monthly salary. Now, you might think that equity compensation is great for the employee. After all, they get both equity and a salary, but perhaps less attractive for employers. In fact, though, equity compensation has a number of potential benefits, especially for certain kinds of companies. One beneficial goal of equity compensation is to stop employees from leaving. Staff turnover, when employees quit, can be a big expense for many companies. Some businesses feel that offering equity to employees means workers are less likely to leave. The reason? Equity compensation plans typically reward employees with more stock the longer they stay with the company. Another goal and potential advantage of equity compensation is that it encourages employees to work hard for the long-term success of the company. After all, if a company does well, the company's stock value will go up, and any employee who owns equity in that company will see his or her personal wealth rise too.
You may begin to prepare after the beep. You may begin to speak after the beep.